you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they knowin'. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all your skill.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NBA Finals Breakdown Monday on this Memorial Day. It is your boy Lewis back on the Lewis Basketball Network, and I am back with another banger with yet another video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure to share this video, man. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video. So what we're going to do basically, ladies and gentlemen, is we are going to get started, and we are going to get started answering these questions. So shall we start with question number 1? Let's get it. Looking most forward to in these NBA finals. I mean, there's a lot of storylines if you want to look at it. Number one, you're talking about Kawhi Leonard. He gets traded to San Antonio. He comes to the Raptors, and in 1 year's time, leads the Toronto Raptors to the NBA Finals. And can Kawhi Leonard continue his stellar play as the most dominant and best player in the postseason? Now, for one, remember, people were saying it was Kevin Durant. He was the best postseason performer right up until he got hurt. And Kawhi, from start to finish, has pretty much been the best player. KD's injury, they probably would be neck and neck right now at 1 and 2 or 1A and 1B, but Kawhi Leonard has clearly been the best player now that Durant has been out with the calf injury, with the calf strain. So Kawhi Leonard, can he muster up enough, game? Because Kawhi Leonard's played a lot of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So he's played 100 more minutes than Steph Curry, and he's played 66 more minutes than any other Warrior. On the Warriors team. Klay Thompson has the most minutes for the Warriors. So can Kawhi Leonard muster enough? Like I said, will he have enough stamina and endurance? And how is his injuries going to hold up? Because he is hobbled a little bit after getting injured in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then he kind of slightly got a little bit hurt in the semis against Philadelphia. So I just wonder how his body's going to hold up. He has kind of 4 days of rest, but I just don't think it's going to be enough time to heal that injury. And whatever injury he has. And, can he knock down this Warriors dynasty? They are without Kevin Durant. They're without Boogie Cousins. So we'll see what's going to happen. If he is able to knock off the Golden State Warriors, who have been to the NBA Finals for a 4th straight year, this is crazy. It will cement Kawhi's legacy in one playoffs as clearly possibly the best player in the NBA. What will it do for him all time? It'll probably boost him. We have to see how his career goes, but it's gonna look like kind of like in some ways Dirk Nowitzki, kind of sort of in some way, not like completely, but what I'm saying is, like, look what he was able to do and have a legendary postseason, and to knock off the best team for the last 4 years. 3 championships in the last 4 years. You knock off a dynasty, without a reliable second option. That's gonna put Kawhi tremendously, and who knows what that could do for the NBA landscape wise, if he's the guy that can knock down a team that has Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, even though there's no KD, but even though there's no Boogie Cousins, but that. And for the Warriors, Steph Curry. I mean, this whole thing that Curry doesn't show up in the finals, man. Can Curry get that elusive Finals MVP to cement himself as truly one of the greatest players ever to play this game? And people think that he doesn't need to be validated with a Finals MVP. People say that you can't be considered the greatest if you've never been the best player on the biggest stage in the NBA Finals. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this how things are going to be. And this is what's most exciting. So you have Kawhi, what he's doing in one postseason in 1 year, with his legendary postseason that he's had so far, with his incredible efficiency, scoring over 30 a game, and then Curry finding his game again after Kevin Durant getting injured, and now he's never won a Finals MVP with 2015, and which he should have gotten over Iguodala, and also, in 2018 when he lost the opportunity because of that one bad game 3. So now that Kevin Durant is not there, now Curry, the spotlight's on him, and now he has to take advantage of it. So that's what's gonna be most exciting. And also with the fact that now we have a new team that the Warriors are facing. Now people are gonna say, oh no, oh man, this sucks because the Warriors are in the finals like once again. But at least in the East, you're not looking to your shoulder and it's like, oh, LeBron James in the finals again, and we're gonna see another low rating finals. It's gonna just view ratings because LeBron is there and the Warriors are there. Like I said, remember, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, LeBron, cash cow player, Warriors, cash cow team. Now that LeBron is in the West, you don't have to worry about that. Now we have a new star in Kawhi Leonard. And remember also, this is a great story, this is the first non-American team in Canada that is in the NBA Finals. The Raptors have existed since, what, the 95-96 season when they first came in. This is only their 23rd season in franchise history. And in, low key, think about that, 23. MJ, in their 23rd season, MJ, number 23, Kawhi Leonard takes this team to the NBA Finals in their 23rd season. MJ, I don't know, just some kind of symbolism there. I don't know, that just caught my attention. But this series is going to be very interesting on all fronts. So I'm interested how the others are going to be reacting, because I feel like it's going to be an individual matchup. Kawhi Leonard against Steph Curry. This is going to prove, Curry's picked up his game since KD's got injured. Kawhi Leonard's been the best from day one of the playoffs with the Raptors. Who's going to come out on top and cement themselves as the best player in these playoffs possibly, man? So it's intriguing, man. So on to the looking forward to in this series with the Toronto Raptors. When you look at it, first of all, is Kawhi Leonard going to hold up with the amount of minutes that he's played in this in these entire playoffs? Like I mentioned in the last question, answering the last question, he's played more minutes than any Warrior on the Warriors, and he has 100 more minutes than Steph Curry. Klay Thompson leads the team in minutes. So how is he going to hold up? Also, is Kawhi Leonard going to get a consistent second score? Because Danny Green needs to rediscover his range so that Klay Thompson can be forced to play defense. If Danny Green does not hit shots, it's going to be a problem. I mean, he hasn't hit a three-pointer since May 20th. He's 0 for 8, and it was to the point that Nick Nurse stopped playing him. So Danny Green is going to have to make himself somewhat of a factor by knocking down three-pointers and playing good defense on Klay Thompson. Because remember, Klay Thompson has rediscovered his game since Kevin Durant also got hurt, and is feeding off of Curry's play and obviously through this system once again. And you already know the Warriors. People have kind of written them off and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Also, Kyle Lowry. Are we going to see the same Kyle Lowry that he's faced playoff demons in the past? This is really the first time that Kyle Lowry's kind of slowly put everything together. And this is the most confident that I've ever seen Kyle Lowry. But that's the influence of Kawhi Leonard. Because Kawhi Leonard shows resiliency, he shows toughness, and he's calm. So he keeps this Raptors team very poised, from a team that I've seen from the second round to the Eastern Conference Finals look so afraid to shoot the ball or even make plays. And I'm telling you, and no disrespect to DeRozan, this is the difference. Kawhi Leonard puts you as a championship contender just with his impact. DeRozan is an all-star player, but he's not, and he's a very good player, don't get me wrong, but he's just not going to put you over the top, especially because he's not mentally where Kawhi Leonard is. And DeRozan doesn't impact the game like Kawhi Leonard does, because let's face it, if DeRozan's not scoring, he doesn't really do anything else. He's a good, solid defender, but it's like Kawhi Leonard makes that much of a difference on both ends of the floor. And it's like the Raptors, even with 59 wins, they didn't look like a legitimate championship team until Kawhi Leonard came there. And now you've seen this in these playoffs, the confidence, the resiliency, the toughness that he's given this basketball team. And now it's like, now they look like a contender. So I'm just looking forward to see who else besides Kawhi Leonard can really give them a consistent second option. I mean, because Kyle Lowry's going to have to play well in order to make Steph Curry play defense. So, that's going to be my keys, for what I'm looking forward to for the Raptors in this series. And how are they going to defend, and how are they going to trap Curry in terms of if they trap him, are lanes going to be open like the way that the Rockets and Blazers were playing Curry when Curry became the main focal point after Kevin Durant got injured. So I'm looking forward to that. So what am I looking forward to on the side of the Golden State Warriors? Well, can they win without Kevin Durant? Because remember, people have said, because the fact that the bench is so thin And the fact that they've played more ISO ball with Kevin Durant, and the fact that Steve Kerr had to play his starting five a lot of minutes, Kevin Durant goes down, Steve Kerr incorporates all these guys. They're like the San Antonio Spurs. They are a blend of what the system is, that is being Steph Curry. Now the question becomes, if Kevin Durant doesn't, let's say, play this entire series, can they win without him? So that's going to be the main question, and the Warriors have something to prove, because people have basically said that without Durant, the Warriors would not be able to beat Houston. The Warriors would not be able to beat the Portland Trail Blazers. Nick Wright had the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals, and he actually admitted that he was completely wrong, because it's like Nick Wright will ride on any team that he could believe can knock down the Warriors, because he hates them so much because of what Kevin Durant did, because his boo LeBron James is not in the NBA Finals and not winning championships, as I've said before. But also, we got to look to Steph Curry. Not just Kevin Durant. Sorry, before I get to Steph Curry, there's no Kevin Durant, and then there's no DeMarcus Cousins. If they were to come back in the series, even though Steve Kerr has incorporated those guys before, how is he going to incorporate them on the fly in an NBA Finals series? So, this is the last round. And this is a 7-game series. And we don't know when DeMarcus Cousins is going to come back. We don't know when Kevin Durant is going to come back. Kevin Durant hasn't even been cleared for basketball activities yet. So and then any 5-on-5 contact. So until then, if those guys were to come back, Steve Kerr is going to have to blend them in. And that's what Kevin Durant has to do that best. He has to blend in. If he tries to be the guy, I could see the Raptors beating the Golden State Warriors, believe it or not. If Kevin Durant is selfish enough to try to say, I'm going to try to get this MVP and show why I'm the best player. You don't need to do that, bro. You've won 2 finals MVPs. Just try to get yourself a 3rd championship and just ease into the transition. I think this is why I'm saying that it's Curry's time now. This is what this injury prevails. If Steph Curry, if the offense was running through Kevin Durant and Kevin Durant was healthy, we would be talking about Kevin Durant getting a 3rd finals MVP. And then people would stop talking about Curry as the best player discussion. Now, Kevin Durant's injury has been a blessing in disguise because of now the attention that now Steph Curry is getting and how he's being more respected now. But see, it took an injury to Kevin Durant for that. And which is, to me, is just unfair. Also, so Steph Curry getting this elusive finals MVP. Let me throw you some stats out there. Curry's career NBA Finals average, for those that say that Curry just doesn't show up in big moments or whatnot. The only series he's choked was 2016 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But Curry's career NBA Finals average, 27.3 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 45% from the field. It's not great, obviously, because he's considered the greatest shooter. But he shoots 41% from the three-point line. And he is a 93% free throw shooter. Curry's only 5% less from a 50-40-90 NBA Finals career. Only 5% from the field, because he shoots 45%. And like I said, it's not great for the greatest shooter of all time. But look at those numbers. 27, nearly 6 and 5 on 45 from the field, 41 from 3, and 93 from the free throw line. I don't see how Curry's underperforming. And that's why I said that if LeBron James could choke 2011, and yes, he came back and won as the lead guy, the difference is they did acquire Kevin Durant. Why can't, and he could be the best player in the game, why can't Steph Curry be the best player in the game just because he choked 2016? I know people are going to say because of that 2016, it eliminated the notion that Curry could be the best player. The thing was, Curry was never out of the conversation. It's because we pay so much attention to Kevin Durant, we overlook what Steph Curry has meant to the Golden State Warriors. Okay? You obviously need a great team in basketball as a 5-on-5 team sport. No player wins it alone. But it just tells you the impact that Curry has had on this Golden State Warriors team, man, with his game. It tells you. So what I'm looking forward to for the Warriors, Steph Curry winning that Finals MVP, and if Durant and Cousins were to come back, how is Steve Kerr going to incorporate these guys? And I'm actually looking forward to low-key honestly see Klay Thompson actually play well in an NBA Finals series. And you look at it, it's like, well, why should he? Because it's like, it's about really Steph Curry because he's looked at as a superstar and he's the best player. Klay Thompson has really never played well in the NBA Finals, to be honest with you. He's had games here or there. And he's never let it waver on his defense. But remember, Klay Thompson is not the main option on the team, and he's like 3rd to 4th option at best when Kevin Durant is here too. So when we look at it, Klay Thompson is honestly really going to get a pass because the attention's going to be on Curry. That's what Klay Thompson is, an all-star. He's a perennial all-star, but he's not a superstar player. I would call him a superstar shooter, but not a superstar player. But he's great, no doubt, and he's a great two-way player. But the attention's going to be on Curry and that Finals MVP. I honestly think if the Warriors win, ladies and gentlemen, this is Curry's time. He should have two Finals MVPs if he were to win this one because of 2015. 2018, he would have gotten it had he shot the ball better. That's a difference. And Kevin Durant was trying to give him that MVP. You could see in the way Kevin was trying to feed him the rock. But Curry just shot the ball so poorly, so Kevin Durant had to come in and kind of save the day with that 43-point explosion. But that's going to be the key. And I think this is Curry's time, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, roll on to the next question.
Dile a tus amigas que andamos ready. Esto lo seguimos en el after party. Con calma, yo quiero ver cómo ella lo menea. Mueve ese boom boom girl.
In the series, well, we already know that Kawhi Leonard is the best player for the Raptors. And honestly, for the Warriors right now, it's Steph Curry because Kevin Durant is not on the floor. So right now we have an individual matchup between Steph Curry and Kawhi Leonard. If Kevin Durant is smart, he actually stays out of it and not try to be the main guy on the team. And just like I said, just blend into the team and just get yourself another championship ring. I mean, you've already proven you've been the best player in back-to-back NBA Finals. Yes, if Kevin Durant were to come back, I know Kevin Durant would have loved to win a third straight Finals MVP and put himself in rarefied air where the media has no choice but to say, Kevin Durant, you are that great. People are going to have their opinions and say Kevin Durant has an asterisk on his championship. He has to go lead a championship team. Whatever the case may be. In my opinion, Kevin Durant should stay with the Golden State Warriors. He should stay. Now, there's going to be obviously difficulty with that, and I think Kevin Durant should take a one-year max, if you ask me, to see if they could keep those guys. And because the Warriors are going to be making money regardless. They've become a billion-dollar franchise. They've won 3 of the last 4 finals. They've endeared incredible success. They're in a 5th straight finals, and they could win 4 titles in 5 years. That'd be some New York Yankees type shit from 96 to 2000 when the Yankees were dominating baseball as the best team. And it's crazy because the Yankees went to 5 World Series in a 6-year span. And they won 4 titles in 5 years. So that's how dominant the Golden State Warriors have been these last 5 seasons, ladies and gentlemen. So quite honestly, man, in terms of the best player, Kawhi is over 30 points a game. He's shooting clearly over 50%. I think he's around 53, 54%. And his true shooting percentage is almost 67% in the playoffs. So clearly he's been the best for the Raptors. And I think this whole best player series is going to be between Kawhi and Steph Curry. So we're going to really find out who is the best player on the floor. So for me, I think both guys are going to prove that they're the best. They're obviously the best player of their respective teams, but we're going to see who really stands out. So to say who's the best player, Kawhi's been doing it as the guy all playoffs since he doesn't have a reliable second option. Steph Curry's doing it as the guy because of his system and the sum of its parts around. The Warriors, to me, they're a prime example of a successful business company. You have your owner, you have the CEO, and then you have the employees. You give the CEO the blueprint, everybody follows the blueprint, everybody succeeds, successful, makes the company that much better. That's what the Golden State Warriors have. They have a blueprint, and they've made themselves a successful blueprint. They've made themselves the company that they are because of, again, it's the sum of its parts, man. Everybody understands their role, and everybody fulfills their role to their knowledge, to the best of their ability. And that's where the Golden State Warriors are at. That's why they are there. Kawhi Leonard has said it best. He said, I don't care about being the best player. I think to a certain degree he does. But he cares about the team. That's instilled from San Antonio. The team system, the team aspect, that has been blended into Kawhi Leonard, and he has brought that along with his leadership by his example on the basketball court. And you can see a more developed personality in him being with Toronto as the lead guy on this team. And the benefit of the San Antonio system has manifested itself into the Toronto Raptors. This is why they are in the NBA Finals. So who is the best player going to be? We're just going to have to wait and see. But the NBA Finals is going to tell a lot. So I think it's going to be a very exciting finals with a lot of storylines. So we got to see how the stars do, and then we got to see how the sum of its parts do. So it's going to be interesting.
Town is a popping now. Bad bitch recline my seat before she top me down. Just invested in 2 choppers and they owe me now.
Finals, and by how much? I have the Warriors in 6 games. I don't think the Raptors, to me, are going to get a consistent output from the other players to be able to sustain the high octane offense of the Golden State Warriors. I think defensively, they're going to give the Warriors some problems. But I think, again, the Warriors are the masters of game-to-game adjustments, especially after losses. And I think with that counter, and the thing is, I'm interested to see how this neophyte coach and Nick Nurse is going to do against Steve Kerr. People have said Steve Kerr is overrated. And at times he doesn't recognize his rotations because he was playing the half to 5 a lot of minutes. And he was going to stay that way had he had beaten the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trailblazers. That's why I said that Kevin Durant injury is a blessing in disguise, because now we get to see what these guys can really do. Now, in terms of the bench, the Warriors have never really had a legitimate 6-man. You could talk about Iguodala, but we're talking about kind of like a Lou Williams type, 18 to 20 points per game. The Warriors have never had that. They've done it collectively through their system. That's why their bench was the best in the NBA. They had a lot of shooters and guys who played their roles really well, but they never really had a legitimate scoring 6-man. I call Iguodala the intangible 6-man. He could score, he could rebound, he can make plays, and he could play defense. I call Iguodala the intangible 6-man. So he's like the Incredibles coming off the bench, because he's very multifaceted. He can do so many things. And you have a MV, and it's also you have the Finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard, MVP candidate. You had Kevin Durant, former 2014 MVP and reigning 2-time Finals MVP, right now who's sitting out. Steph Curry, 2-time regular season MVP, including unanimous MVP in 2016. You have Danny Green, who made the Finals with Kawhi Leonard in 2013 and 2014. You have Serge Ibaka, who went to the NBA Finals with Kevin Durant, going against him in the 2012 season when he went against LeBron James and the Miami Heat with D. Wade and Chris Bosh and them boys. So you have a little bit of Finals experiences. Obviously, the Warriors have more. But I have the Warriors in 6 because I don't think there's going to be a consistent guy other than Kawhi Leonard who's going to give you consistency throughout the series. I feel like it's going to be a different guy every time. And then I feel like Fred VanVleet just discovered his game in the last 3 games, but he's had a lot going on personally. So it's like, now can he bring this game to the NBA Finals? So that can Danny Green, shoot the ball better, because he hasn't been doing it the entire playoffs. So that's kind of the thing, and that's where it starts to concern me. And I think Kawhi Leonard playing too many minutes, it's going to take its toll on him because he can't do everything. And it's like, I know that the Raptors can give the Warriors different looks with Curry and Thompson, but I don't think they should try to overload on them too much. So they need to be careful on that in terms of how they defend Curry and Thompson, especially off the pick and roll. And with the Warriors, they have different looks they can throw at Kawhi Leonard. So they could throw Livingston, they could throw Iguodala, they could throw Thompson, they can throw Jordan Bell. So they have some pieces they could throw at him. So I'm interested to see how Nick Nurse is going to react to that and what adjustments he makes, because he really hasn't made any adjustments like that. He did some in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time, the entire playoffs, because they nearly scaved off elimination against the Philadelphia 76ers. And that was a very poor IQ team in its own right, too. So the NBA playoffs has had a way of exposing, players. I'm going to do a video on that just shortly. If not shortly, maybe later in the day, or, probably tomorrow. But, I will do that. So who do I have winning this NBA Finals? I got the Warriors in 6 games, and I got Steph Curry. The Warriors close it out at home because, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Golden State Warriors are starting on the road. They are not starting at home. They've had home court advantage in the first 4 NBA Finals they played in, but they are not going to have it this time around because the Warriors were the #1 seed with 57 wins, but the Toronto Raptors have 58 wins, and they're the #2 seed. And remember, the Milwaukee Bucks had 60 wins, so even if the Bucks would have came out the East, the Warriors would have had to start in Milwaukee. And I think the Warriors would have had an easier time against the Bucks than they do against the Raptors, in my opinion, just because of how Toronto exposed the Milwaukee Bucks, especially Giannis Antetokounmpo in those Eastern Conference Finals. So And that's no disrespect to Milwaukee. They're a very good basketball team. They had a great season. But with the Raptors, I just don't think they're going to have enough. And I think this time, Curry, it's Curry's time. I think it's Curry's time. It's finally Curry's time. He gets that elusive Finals MVP. The Warriors win their 4th title in 5 years, and they three-peat, something that hasn't happened since the Shaq Kobe Lakers era. So, think about that, and they'll put themselves in rarefied air. They'll be the 4th team in NBA history to have at least 6 or more championships, and they will eclipse the Chicago Bulls with the 3rd most championships in NBA history with 7. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. 7 championships. 4 in the last 5 years. That's what's at stake for the Golden State Warriors. Can the Raptors get their first in Canadian sports history and then obviously in their franchise history? And Kawhi Leonard can cement his legacy, man, with one of the greatest postseasons in NBA history. And where that puts him in the best player mantra if he were to come out and succeed and beat this Golden State dynastic team. So we'll have to see. But the Golden State Warriors will win, in my opinion, in 6 games, and Curry will get that elusive Finals MVP that he has long waited for and he has deserved from that time they robbed him in 2015. But ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Lewis with another one on that NBA Finals preview, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video. Make sure to share this video. Only helps the channel grow. You already know my mantra. As always, I do, man. Appreciate the time for watching my videos. As always, bless up. One love. Peace. Thanks for watching. DJ.
Scooch, Drop Top, Whiz Up, yeah. Hey, you get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, and the car came with a blunt in it. Lil' mama a thot, and she got ass, and she gon' fuck up a bag. Pull up to the spot, living too fast, dropping the dope in the stash. In Italy, got 2 foreign hoes, they DM me. Draw at the top when it's cold, but you feel the heat. Be real with me, keep it